Hello and welcome to Race for the White House, our daily show where we get you the latest from America's political landscape. On today's show, we tell you how Donald Trump has survived yet another assassination attempt. Also on the show, we tell you how the former president's hate for Taylor Swift is growing stronger by each passing day. All of this and much more, so let's get started. Donald Trump seems to have dodged more bullets than a video game character. For the second time in 2 months, the former president has walked away from an assassination attempt. This incident unfolded at his golf club in Florida's West Palm Beach on Sunday evening. According to reports, Secret Service agents engaged a suspect pointing a rifle at Trump's Florida golf course while the former president was golfing. Reports suggest that Secret Service agents spotted and shot at the armed person hiding in the bushes near the edge of the golf course. This was a very short distance from where Trump was playing. Trump had been golfing at the West Palm Beach course near his Mar-a-Lago residence when the potential shooter was spotted. It should be noted that Trump's golf game on Sunday was a last-minute addition to his schedule. An AK-47 style rifle along with a GoPro camera and 3 shell casings were recovered from the scene. Authorities did not confirm whether the suspect directly fired at Trump. However, they did acknowledge that retaliatory shots were fired by the Secret Service. After being shot at by Secret Service agents, officials said that the suspect got into a vehicle. Witnesses then reported the license plate number, which was tracked by authorities. The suspect was then stopped and taken into custody. The FBI has opened an investigation into what they are calling an attempted assassination on Trump. The suspect in the incident has been identified as 58-year-old Ryan Routh. According to multiple reports quoted by CNN and Fox News, Routh is a long-time Democrat supporter. Since 2019, he has given 19 donations that add up to more than $140, as per records from the Federal Election Commission. Routh has a prolific arrest record that spans several decades. A background check has revealed that he currently lives in Hawaii and has faced dozens of run-ins with police stretching back to at least the 1990s. His list of arrests includes simple drug possession, driving without a license, expired inspections, and operating a vehicle with no insurance. Based on his social media profile, it seems that 2 years ago, he traveled to Ukraine in the aftermath of Russia's invasion and urged Americans to join him there. This angle has prompted the authorities to see whether Routh had grievances related to Ukraine, and more specifically, frustrations with Trump's position on the issue. Now, Routh's social media accounts have been suspended in the aftermath of his identification as the potential Trump shooter. Following the incident, Trump sent out a mail to donors expressing that he is safe and well. Trump's campaign moved quickly on Sunday to solicit a new wave of donations, sending out an email to supporters. The mail says, "Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace." Now, for more on this, we are joined by our White House correspondent Rohit Sharma from Washington, D.C. Rohit, can you tell us exactly what happened?
Very shocking indeed. A second assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And look, it is coming only when we are like 50 days away, less than 50 days away from election. Today is being a Sunday here in America. He was on his golf course in West Beach in Florida. He was golfing with one of his donors, and he was in between hole number 5 and 6. And I think a lot of people who play golf would know. So he was in between that. And then around 1:30 local time is when there were gunshots that were heard. This was Secret Service shooting at this person because they thought he was dangerously close to Donald Trump, only 300 to 400 yards, and they saw an AK-47 style gun that this person was carrying. His name is Ryan Routh. He's around 50 years of age. He has been ID'd by FBI now. And Ryan Routh then ran towards his black Nissan car. He tried to run away from the scene. He was apprehended 50 miles north on I-95, and he surrendered when he was apprehended. Looks like he's had furious run-ins with law enforcement, and people have been able to dig up some of his past cases. His son has come out and said, it's uncharacteristic for his father to do this. But the Secret Service were able to find, a scope, 2 backpacks with a ceramic tile, as we know, and now a GoPro camera at the scene. And these were, obviously displayed at the briefing that was held by Sheriff Bradshaw. So very, very shocking. We have Donald Trump then, secured, and, he's home, Mar-a-Lago. We've seen a few leaders go and talk to him. Speaker Johnson was there in Mar-a-Lago, and he spent some time. But for this to happen less than 50 days before the election, and again, this is a former U.S. president. He's had one assassination attempt. This is the second one. This doesn't get worse than this for the Secret Service and the intelligence agencies in the U.S. Some people will have to answer. Remember, the first time this happened, the Secret Service secretary had to resign. So we'll have to wait and watch of what it becomes now. But Trump is safe and secure, and from what we've learned, he's in very good spirits.
Right. Thanks for the details, Rohit. And could you tell us a little bit about what we know about the suspected shooter, Ryan Routh? What do we know about him?
Look, the first time we heard about something was about Iranians, and they wanted to assassinate Donald Trump. And I mean, we've seen them. There have been threats about other candidates as well. But this was before the first assassination attempt, and now we're also learning that as recently as in the past 10 days, the Secret Service was briefed by the intelligence authorities that there could be another assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and with links to Iranians. And he obviously is the former president. I mean, they kind of, assume there's a threat everywhere he is. But after receiving that briefing, I mean, people have to answer. The Secret Service will have to answer, what steps they have taken. There was a congressional investigation that happened after the first assassination attempt. I'm pretty sure there will be another one this time around. But like, if you talk to Americans, they won't be able to believe that this is happening in America. Like two assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I mean, it speaks volumes about the lapse in security. The other aspect of this whole incident is that it kind of shocks everybody that why is people only going after Trump, and it helps him politically. So I guess this is not something anybody would want, especially in an election cycle. But we saw statements from Vice President Kamala Harris. We saw statements from President Biden, in solidarity and calling this an assassination attempt and doing whatever it takes to get to the bottom of this. But this is unbelievable that there's a second assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and it boggles one's mind as to how this could be happening.
And could I ask you, how do you think it helps Trump politically, this latest shooting? We saw a sympathy wave after the last shooting in July. Do you think we'll see something similar now?
Look, there will be a place and time for politics. But again, we are so close to the elections that this obviously is a question that's been popping in a lot of people's head, and rightly so. We saw he got a huge polling bump after his first assassination attempt. He essentially, had a successful debate, and we had the first assassination attempt, and his opponent Joe Biden had dropped out after that because the polls were saying that Biden was going to, lose in a landslide. Now, what does this attempt do? We'll have to wait and watch. But a question begs, I think a lot of voters, especially Trump supporters, are going to ask, why do they want to take him down? And Trump said he's not going to surrender. He sent an email to his voters. He also sent an email raising funds or asking for more funds. But the question is a valid one. Why would the Iranians or anybody want to take him down? And he's going to obviously, take a lot of political leverage out of this. We've seen him do that before. So he will definitely do that. But, it is sad in the fact that, people are resorting to such motives. I mean, we do not know if Ryan Routh is connected to any of the foreign powers or any foreign agencies or if this was a standalone incident. But whatever it is, we've seen that Trump's base actually consolidates whenever he gets into trouble, be it the court cases or sentencing or anything. So I do not expect it to be different. I think, there will be a lot of questions asked, solidifying of his base, and maybe some independent voters asking the same question that everybody is asking, and that some of people close to Trump are saying that they want this man gone because he's good for America. And if that's the narrative on which he builds his campaign from now on, I think he will have a very, very, very formidable campaign against Vice President Kamala Harris.
Right. And finally, how has the Kamala Harris campaign responded to this incident?
Look, Vice President Kamala Harris just issued a statement. I think nobody wants violence or physical violence against any political opponent. And I think it is what it is. She'll have to, or her campaign will have to accept the facts and move on and strategize. And we've seen them, takes or move some of these issues on the back burner. Like people that have, or not, I wouldn't say they have forgotten about it, but then they were talking less and less about the first assassination attempt. So I think they probably would, from campaign's perspective, they would not want this to become centered to the campaign, because there is no there are no arguments, there are no two sides here. You have to absolutely condemn it, and they have, and they will, and every American in the right frame of mind, will condemn this attack. So it does make politically it makes things difficult for Kamala Harris, but at the same time, she's been talking about issues, and I think she'll stick to issues. And the other issue in this race, and nobody's talking about, is guns. Why do people have access to guns like AK-47? So maybe we could see them bring that back into conversation, which is what they did after the first assassination attempt. But right now, it looks like Trump's going to be able to raise a lot of money. He's going to get some more sympathy and a lot of unanswered questions from the security agencies in the US.
All right, Rohit, thanks so much for joining us. Moving on, golfing may be Trump's favorite pastime, only after tweeting. But while Trump's out there perfecting his swing, it's his Secret Service that's stuck in the bunker, scrambling to keep him safe. Trump in golf courses has long been a source of concern among Secret Service officials. The former president's leisurely pastime has now turned into a full-blown security headache for the Men in Black. Now, security was heightened in the aftermath of the first attempt on his life back in July. But this beefed-up protection wasn't able to prevent another would-be assassin from coming within 500 yards of the former president. Reports now suggest that Trump's golfing escapades have become one of the greatest challenges for the Secret Service. The fairways and greens of a golf course are often the largest outdoor area a sitting or former president can visit. And their design, often bordering public roads and containing elements such as trees and hills, can conceal would-be assassins. That makes them particularly difficult for the agency to secure. Trump's presence at a golf course does not call for the roads to be closed. Instead, groups of agents and golf pros typically ride in golf carts ahead and behind the former president. Moreover, Trump likes to drive his own golf cart. This is one of the only opportunities a sitting or former president has to drive any kind of vehicle. You should also know that the golf cart is not equipped with any special protective measures. It only has a presidential seal affixed to it. Sometimes, agents use metal detecting wands to screen players and other guests before they come into close proximity to the former president. As president, Trump could often be spotted from across the road when he was playing golf. But members of the media were not permitted to stand on the sidewalks near the golf course when Trump was playing. After he left office, some of those restrictions were lifted. Members of the public are now able to have a clear view of Trump from the sidewalks. Despite all the chaos, the former president shows no sign of giving up on his favorite pastime. So, as Trump continues to perfect his golf game, his security detail remains on high alert. Now moving on. Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris is clearly rattling Donald Trump. Shortly before the second assassination attempt on Trump that unfolded on Sunday, the former president lashed out at the pop superstar on his Truth social media account. On his account, Trump posted, "I hate Taylor Swift," in all caps. This comes just days after she officially endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2024 US presidential election. Following last week's presidential debate between Trump and Harris, Swift shared her endorsement for the vice president with her 284 million Instagram followers. The pop icon also expressed her admiration for Harris, calling the sitting vice president a steady-handed, gifted leader and a warrior. Swift's post backing Harris has drawn over 9 million likes on Instagram. In an interview with Fox News following Swift's endorsement, Trump suggested the singer will probably pay a price for this in the marketplace. The Republican camp has also swiftly expressed that Swift's endorsement is not a concern. However, opinion polls show that Swift's endorsement brought considerable traction for the Harris campaign. Since then, the former president has ratcheted up his rhetoric against one of the most successful recording artists in history. This is hardly the first time Trump has clashed with celebrities, but his direct attack on Swift adds a dramatic subplot to an already tumultuous election season. Swift has previously encouraged voter turnout and advocated for progressive policies. But her endorsement of Harris marks her most high-profile political statement to date. As the election draws closer, the fallout from the feud could further jolt both Swift's fans and Trump's voter base. Furthermore, Trump supporters who are also Swifties will be faced with an impossible choice on November 5th. Moving on, in a world filled with bizarre issues, we now have to ask another peculiar question. Are neighborhood dogs and cats in danger of becoming dinner? In what can only be described as the most creative form of immigration argumentation we've seen in a while, J.D. Vance has once again found himself in the hot seat. Trump's running mate has reiterated his claim that Haitian immigrants in Ohio's Springfield are abducting and killing neighborhood pets for food. When asked to support his claim during an interview with NBC News, Vance said that he has seen first-hand accounts from locals.
I have heard firsthand from multiple constituents, people who made 911 calls a month ago, a year ago, who were making these complaints. I trust my constituents more than I do the American media that has shown no interest in what's happened in Springfield until we started sharing cat memes on the internet, which is disgraceful that the American media ignored this town. And that's the most important part. Kamala Harris's open border, Kristen, has led to skyrocketing housing costs in Springfield, rising rates of crime, rising rates of communicable diseases. They have dropped 20,000 immigrants into a town of 40,000, and it's caused a host of social problems.
Moreover, Vance has also expressed that this story has proven important in calling attention to the problems that Springfield is facing due to the migrant influx. However, these claims have been debunked by many, including Ohio officials who say there was no evidence of such acts by immigrants. During the Trump-Harris presidential debate on September 10th, the Republican contender also claimed that Haitian immigrants in Ohio were eating and abducting pets. Since then, the Republican camp has been spreading the same narrative. Vance also posted on social media that his office had received many inquiries about Haitian migrants abducting pets. Trump and his Republican allies have also been sharing cat-themed memes to push this anti-immigrant narrative. However, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who also happens to be a Republican, has distanced himself from this narrative. DeWine has termed these claims as garbage that is only doing the rounds on social media.
No, absolutely not. That's what the mayor said. That's what the chief of police has said. I think it's unfortunate that this came up. These Haitians came in to work for these companies. What the companies tell us is that they are very good workers. They're very happy to have them there. And frankly, that's helped the economy. And what is important is that we get primary care health to everyone in a very growing city, that we do other things in regard to housing. These are kind of basic things that we need to do.
The Republican governor also added that there is no evidence to support these kinds of activities happening in Springfield. The governor also added that Haitians in Springfield have filled job vacancies and work very, very hard. He also noted that the surge of migrants is putting a strain on the city's resources. And now it's time to talk numbers in our segment Poll Watch. With less than 7 weeks remaining for the US presidential polls, the race for the White House is becoming quite intense. Vice President Kamala Harris is maintaining a narrow lead nationally and a neck-to-neck battle in swing states. So let's take a look at how the presidential contenders are stacking up today. According to a New York Times Siena poll, Harris is leading in the national polls with 49% approval, while Trump is trailing at 47%. In the swing states of Michigan and North Carolina, Harris is maintaining a lead with 48% of public support, while Trump is at 47%. In Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, and Arizona, Harris and Trump are locked in a tie, both with 48% public support. Meanwhile, in the state of Wisconsin, Harris is maintaining a considerable lead at 50% of public support, while Trump has 47%. And now it's time to get you some quick updates from the political landscape in America that you might have missed. As the second assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump stirred up major political storm, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have reacted to the incident. Biden took to X and stated that he is relieved that the former president is unharmed. Meanwhile, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris issued a statement in which she confirmed that she was briefed about the situation. She went on to reiterate that violence has no place in the United States of America. However, tech billionaire Elon Musk made a controversial statement asking why no assassination attempts are being made on Harris or Biden. Moving on, Kamala Harris has raised eyebrows after appearing to shift her accent once again during an address to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation on Sunday. Many pointed out that Harris is using a southern accent at the event. The VP, who spent her childhood in San Francisco and Montreal, has long been accused of adapting her accent to whatever audience she's addressing. The vice president was panned earlier this month for using different accents while campaigning in Detroit and Pittsburgh. Also, former First Lady Melania Trump has spoken out against the FBI's 2022 raid on Mar-a-Lago, labeling it a violation of her privacy and issuing broader caution to Americans. The raid occurred during the FBI's investigation over Trump's alleged retention of classified documents. In a video message, Melania described the incident as deeply intrusive. It is the first time that Melania has spoken out about the 2022 August raid on Mar-a-Lago. During the raid, FBI agents recovered at least 300 classified documents, including some secrets that may have come from spies. That's all we have for you in this edition of Reach for the White House. See you again tomorrow.